Florian Wirtz has a hat trick in the end. But after he scores his first goal, fans want to rush onto the field.
They're like, come on, just give it to us already.
All right.
Before Bayern gets here.
He had to chill people out.
Like,
People were,
get out, get off the field.
In the 4-0, people were literally on the field.
Yeah, they're on the
They
field.
were rushing the field, and he had to tell people to chill
He's
out.
like, just 10 more minutes.
But it comes to show you a club who was so close. As a reminder, you mentioned those close calls that they had. In 2002, they lost the Bundesliga and the Champions League in a matter of weeks. That's when the Bundesliga's, when the Neverkusen moniker started, right? It started flourishing. Several of those Leverkusen players went on to play on the Germany national team heading to the World Cup. They lose the World Cup final, so there was a little bit of that bad juju heading even into the national team. It was a really big deal. And then to come this way,
we did it to ourselves, by the way, this weekend.
I was going to say,
I'm like,
for the people knowing, I did the Cornitos, and next thing I know, not only did Liverpool lose, but Arsenal lost.
Yeah, we did it too hard, dude.
The Cuernitos is a dangerous game.
Yeah. Sometimes you Cornito yourself.
163,000 people live in Leverkusen. That's like what? That's like not even.
How many people live in Stamford?
How many people exactly?
20,000.
In the greater metropolitan area. Well, okay, there you go. I mean,
I made that up. I don't know if that's
it's absolutely incredible. What I would have given to be there doing this.
Did you see the image of him just getting absolutely doused by the beer?
Yeah.
It was awesome.
It's
so great.
The
He's
announcer,
such a boss.
by the way, we just heard in our ear, it's 137,000.
100 versus 163 in Leverkusen, 137,000 in Stanford. So
that's crazy.
Just so you get an idea.
Yeah.
Let's call it ballpark.
The announcer, the call he made when the final whistle blew was from Neverkusen to Meisterkusen, which is kind of poetic. You know, you talk about this team that had this sort of curse above their head, and you saw on the side of the screen previously when they had the previous champions, it was all, look at this, all Bayern. That kind of, the weight of something like that.
11 seasons.
The weight of that, 11 seasons, and for you to be the one to win it on your first try, with the 43 wins.
Unbeaten.
Yeah, 43 unbeaten, which is 38-5, 5 draws, 38 wins. It equals the record by any team in the big 5 European leagues. Which was Juventus from May 2011 to May 2012 without losing a match. The win one more would be so momentous for a team like this to hold that record, to completely change the course of history for this team back to when they couldn't win the league or the Champions League in a matter of weeks, as you said, to this. It's got to be beautiful. And for Xabi Alonso to do this, I don't care what happens after this. The guy deserves a statue for what's happened here.
Oh, absolutely.
And with a young team.
He took over in the autumn of 2022. I mean, like, this was and they were at the bottom, at the very, very bottom. And this turnaround is just, it's nothing short of remarkable. I could not be happier.
And they lost
for this team.
in Europa League to Mourinho, out of all people, right? He took over for Gerardo Seoane, who had come over from Young Boys in Switzerland. It was sort of I guess it was a promising project, but it started off well, and then it just took a massive nosedive, and Xabi Alonso had to really resuscitate this team from a pretty dire situation, just given Bayer Leverkusen's standards. They were towards the bottom half of the table. And mind you, they finished the season last season with Xabi Alonso, the Bundesliga, to be specific, with like a 6-match winless streak, and then just to start their Bundesliga season, like amongst what's the unbeaten record? 40.
It is 43.
43 games.
Safe match.
So far, they've won the Bundesliga through 29 games unbeaten. That eclipses the previous record held by Bayern Munich to the best unbeaten start in a season in the Bundesliga. So,
managed by Pep Guardiola.
Yeah, the 1913-14 season, his very first season with Bayern Munich.
So Xabi, before he was at Bayern Leverkusen, he was at Real Sociedad.
Yeah,
is that correct?
In the youth system.
B team.
The B team.
And I mean, what an ascent. Because I mean, I know that they had that moniker of, you know, they're
his first
never winning.
professional gig
Exactly. Like
ever.
it is to be able to step into what is a fairly big club in Europe, and to have this level of success is unbelievable. I mean, you just have to. I mean, like.
There's no manager in the world whose stock has shot up.
Oh my gosh!
So
you just start
significantly.
thinking. You start thinking. You know, like what is the path for Xabi Alonso, and is he going to rise to the ranks? Are we going to be speaking about him the way we speak about a Pep Guardiola, or a Jurgen Klopp, or you know?
Suze, the funny thing about that is you have two camps, right? The camp that says, stick it out, see out this project. You still have Florian Wirtz, who's 20 years old. Florian Wirtz tore his ACL and came back, and look at how he's playing now at 20 years old. Grimaldo, who they signed as a free agent at 28 years old. Frimpong, 23. Boniface, 23. Amin Adli, 23.
But it's the best version of all those players.
Because of what Xabi Alonso has done for them. It's not just giving them the opportunity to play, it's coaching them up. You can see that in the way that he carries himself, the way that he goes to training. He's out on the pitch with them. How to strike a ball, what the scenarios for the team.
If you could reinforce
Incredible.
the squad, they're pretty complete.
All right,
What are you going on the market to get?
You got the keeper, Hordecki, he's 34 years old. So
Who
I
was
think
really good this season.
very good this season. But you could look at the goalkeeper position. Granit Xhaka is 31 years old. Does he have a couple years still at the high level? Yes, but that could be an area where you have to improve. Other than that, Tapsoba, Ta, Kusnu, your three center backs,
plus
25, 28, 23, and Nkapie, who can also play left wing back, which he did in this game, 22 years old. You are set.
The only place you can upgrade is the facilities at this point. That's how good this team is playing.
But like they say that they're only going to get
astonishing.
stronger, right?
Everyone
Everyone
only
says
gonna
that,
get-
right, but who are you going to go? Who are you going to go get? Like what type of even in the midfield, you've got Andrich, who historically was their center midfielder, right, for the last couple of seasons. Has been pretty good, despite him not being an out-and-out starter when you look at the team sheet, because you've got Ezequiel Palacios and Granit Xhaka. Like you have a good commodity piece in Robert Andrich, who's come up clutch, and then everywhere else. You've got Adli, you've got
But you can upgrade if you're talking about
Hoffman.
if you're talking about Champions League, competing in Champions League. I mean, doing the double again, repeating the Bundesliga crown. You have to upgrade if possible to get a player who's maybe potentially world class.
Also, think about young players. Remember when Ansu Fati chose Brighton? Because the project there seemed like a good place for a young, aggressive player to go play, maybe get looked at, be put in the shop window. Bayer Leverkusen seems like a really great option. You're going to get coached up by Xabi Alonso. You're going to develop probably at a faster pace than anywhere else in Bundesliga, and you're going to get a shot to be winning titles, playing in Champions League. If you want to be a depth piece, if you're a young player, this is a great place to go. And you've seen that with Florian Wirtz coming off the bench at moments and being really influential. You forget he's 20 years old. That's how good he's played. If I'm a young player that can kind of pick where they want to go and you want to be in Bundesliga, I'd go to Bayer Leverkusen.
But to finish what we talked about earlier is the two camps is one, stay with this group because it is a fantastic project, or taking that Liverpool job or taking that big job that's out there because he is the top candidate for most of these clubs.
Madrid post Ancelotti.
Do you say, oh, I'm just going to take it because it might not come, or do you risk, hey, I'm going to stick with this project because can you still sustain this type of quality for next season? That's the big risk. Does his stock automatically drop, or is it always going to stay
He's
relatively
raised the bar
high?
pretty darn high.
He should go to Wrexham.